This resolution is very important because it resulted from a tragedy in my district that we want people to learn from. And it focuses on something called ghost driving, which I had never heard from before, but we lost a young life in Glenview as a result of it. I would like to go ahead and read the resolution so people really understand what this issue is and what a few fleeting moments can take away from the world. Whereas the members of the Illinois Senate are deeply saddened by the tragic death of Marko Niketic, whose life was taken far too soon on Mother's Day 2024. And whereas Marko, only 6 weeks shy of his 18th birthday and just days away from his senior graduation and prom, was widely admired for his strength, perseverance, kindness, and positive spirit, serving as an inspiration to many throughout Illinois and beyond. Whereas on May 12, 2024, Marko was tragically killed shortly after leaving his residence to drive his girlfriend home following a Mother's Day spent with their mothers. And whereas the crash was allegedly caused by an individual operating a motor vehicle while impaired, traveling at speeds exceeding 150 miles an hour on the expressway and approximately 122 miles per hour at the time of the impact, while also allegedly recording himself during the incident in a collision so close to Marko's home that his parents actually heard the crash occur. And whereas the dangerous driving behavior, commonly referred to as ghosting, involves operating a motor vehicle at excessive speeds, often 100 miles per hour or more above the posted speed limit, while driving at night without vehicle lights illuminated, disregarding public safety and creating an extreme risk of catastrophic injury or death to motorists, pedestrians, and others on the roadway. And whereas the growing use of recording, live streaming, and social media to promote reckless and dangerous driving conduct has amplified the danger by incentivizing increasingly extreme behavior for attention, entertainment, or notoriety. And whereas the tragic loss of Marko has highlighted public concern regarding impaired driving, extreme reckless driving, and social media-driven dangerous driving behaviors on Illinois roadways, and whereas it is important for the Illinois General Assembly to recognize the need to strengthen public safety protection, modernize criminal penalties, and deter dangerous conduct that places innocent motorists, pedestrians, and families at risk while ensuring consequences appropriate to the devastating harm caused. And whereas it is important for Illinois to evaluate opportunities to strengthen penalties for impaired driving and extreme reckless driving offenses that result in serious bodily injury or death, including offenses involving speeds 100 miles per hour or more above the posted speed limit, driving on shoulders or in other prohibited areas, operating a vehicle without headlights during nighttime hours, and recording or disseminating such conduct through social media. And whereas it is important for legislators in Illinois to recognize the importance of improving coordination among transportation agencies, law enforcement, prosecutors, and public safety officials to address dangerous driving behaviors and prevent future tragedies. Therefore, be it resolved by the Senate of the 104th General Assembly of the State of Illinois that we urge the Illinois Department of Transportation, the Office of the Secretary of State, the Illinois State Police, local law enforcement agencies, prosecutors, traffic safety organizations, and other relevant public safety stakeholders to review and strengthen policies, enforcement strategies, public awareness efforts, and sentencing guidelines related to impaired driving, extreme reckless driving, social media-driven dangerous driving, and ghosting. And be it further that we encourage continued consideration of legislative policy and reforms intended to ensure Illinois law appropriately addresses severe reckless driving conduct, including instances involving speeds 100 miles per hour or more above the posted speed limit, driving on shoulders or other prohibited areas, operating a vehicle without headlights at night, recording or promoting dangerous driving conduct through social media, and impaired operation of a motor vehicle resulting in catastrophic injury or loss of life, with consequences proportionate to the harm inflicted upon victims persons, families, and communities. And further, be it resolved that suitable copies of this resolution be delivered to our Governor, the Secretary of State, the Department of Transportation, the Director of the Illinois State Police, and the family of Marko as a symbol of remembrance in the Illinois Senate's commitment to improving roadway safety throughout the state. We're all loved ones. We're parents, we're children, we're aunts, we're uncles. And this tragic loss as a result of something I had never heard of before is something we need to familiarize ourselves with, especially right now because we're here and it's summer and our kids are going to be out driving, and we have to make sure that our kids all make it home safely and none of our families suffer what Marko's family is going through. And I really have to pay tribute to his family right now because they are working to make sure our roads are safer, our families are safer, so their son's life is not lost for naught. So thank you for attention to this, and if you could indulge me for a moment of silence on behalf of Marko.
Thanks for watching this video. Please like and subscribe to keep up to date with news from the caucus. For more information on what the senator is working on, please follow them on social media using the links in the description below.